Hey everybody, it's Lizzie. If you don't know me, I basically just make book videos. Apparently that's all I do now. So if you like that, subscribe. I don't post a lot. I will not spam you. But subscribe, like, comment, let me know how your day is going. I don't even know what you should do. But today I'm talking about the book that put me in a reading slump. I was so excited to read this book, beyond excited. I started like a year ago. I put it back. I put it back. And then I just keep hitting these speed bumps. And I was like, this isn't real. This is going to be my favorite book. I just have to get into it. And then it let me down in the biggest way possible. So let's talk about Prodigal Summer by Barbara Kingsolver. You have probably, if you are in the world of books, you probably know about Barbara. She is famous. She's Pulitzer Prize winner. She has written a ton of books. I'm going to just list a few. Prodigal Summer, Demon Copperhead, The Poisonwood Bible, Unsheltered, Flight Behavior, Animal, Vegetable, Miracle. I love her because I love these ecological settings. I love these green type of it's good for you novels. But something about Prodigal Summer just did not sit with me right. So most recently I've read Demon Copperhead, which is like a remake or something of some other book that I don't even know, so I don't know why I'm bringing that up. But beautiful cover, is it not? An amazing, beautiful, stunning cover. Love it. This book was really good. And in that book, the reason I'm bringing that up is because she is a master of talking in someone else's voice. Like, this book is like, I think he's maybe 12 years old, this little Appalachian kid, like crazy upbringing, drugs, bad parents, bad community, like wild times. And she writes so believably in his voice, right? So I was excited to hear all about the characters in Prodigal Summer, but then she just didn't come through. First of all, this cover is ugly as but I'm not gonna judge a book by its cover, even though that's what I literally do all the time. I picked it up because I saw her name and I saw a tree and I figured, yep, that's for me. Dust jacket, goodbye. That's what I do. This is much better. Much, much better. It has grease stains all over it from me trying to tan and read it. Honestly, it reads quick. It's like big font. It's not a super chunky book. See, it's not packed. You got this. You can do this. However, I jumped into this book and I was so excited to read, I don't know, the first 100 pages or so. And then you kind of hit a plateau. I hit a plateau because the voice changes. So there's this ranger lady. Someone tell me what her name is. Dina. I think it's pronounced Dina. I didn't know the entire time if I was saying that right or wrong. We get Eddie Bondo, which is this hunter guy that's trying to hunt coyotes, comes up to this ranger woman's cabin. He's a lot younger than she is. It's immediately sexual tension. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love this book. Dina and Eddie Bondo meet in the woods outside her little cabin. And they're walking together. It's very animalistic. And I don't know. They're almost stalking each other. It's like the hunt and then you catch the prey. So they end up getting together. He stays over and stays over and stays over. She is so reluctant to fall in love with this man simply because he hunts coyotes and she loves coyotes. So immediate 1 point loss for me. I don't even love love. I don't love love stories. I hate reading them. And I'm into this. They're literally doing the nasty in a fallen down, hollowed out log, tree. And I don't know, I'm enjoying this romance story, and that's not something I usually do. They're just she's so unbelievable to me, the way she's literally sleeping with this man over and over. They're basically living together, and she's I don't love him, I don't need him, stupid young man, whatever. And I'm like, girl, there's no way, there's literally no way that you could keep that mentality just because this man hunts wolves. Everyone has red flags. That just continued from literal day one of the book to the very, 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 very end. And that got so boring to me. And I was so frustrated about it. I was like screaming at her. Then we get to like this second point of the book, and it switches to this woman, Lusa, who her husband ends up dying. She becomes a widow, and she's like trying to integrate into the family. This is like huge, interconnected, I guess like Southern type of family vibe. And she doesn't feel loved. She doesn't feel like she has a place in that family. And it just lost me there. I was like, what happened to my girl, this ranger lady's love story in the woods? Like, that's what I want to hear. I'm done about this widow being sad. Like, get over it. Take me back to the woods. So that was like maybe another loss for me. Didn't like that. So then we follow Lusa and Dina back and forth. Then we meet this old grouchy man and his old grouchy neighbor. And then they end up like fighting, but then there's like this weird tension where he likes her in the end. I'm like really paraphrasing this book. Like, this is towards the very end of the book. He ends up liking her, and it's like so weird. He's like, her shorts are too short, but like, I'm an 80-year-old man, so I shouldn't be noticing. And I'm like, okay. The way that he just is like crushing on this old lady who's like 75. It's not even really that weird. Maybe it's just like uncomfortable. I don't want to sit here and read about it, you know? And he was like angry at her. It just came out on like when you're 7 years old and it's like a boy likes you, so he's picking on you. And I'm like, this is not how 80-year-old people should be acting. I feel like it was just really annoying to me. Didn't like that story either. So also, crazy drama. Lusa, by marriage, this kid's aunt, right? This kid, her nephew, literally has a crush on her, and he kisses her and is like, he's like, I would do more than that for you. And it was like, oh, I was like shaking. I was like, what is going on? They're at a family gathering. She's like, all of your uncles are hitting on me too right now, and you're my nephew and you're kissing me. And I was like, Lusa, pack your bags and leave. Like, you can't literally have your husband die and then all of your family start hitting on you. Like, you need to go. Do it for them. She stays. Later in the book, this kid kisses her again. He's like, and I would do more. And she's like, stop, I can't love you. Like, you're a child, whatever. They apparently, like, they figured it out. They're just friends in the end. I'm like, yeah, you better be friends. He's like 17. And your nephew. So it's just wild. And I'm like, why is Barbara writing this? Just like plot wise, character wise, why was this the decision? It is so all over the place. There are so many major points. There's 40 of these occurrences, and I'm confused at why they're maybe put 3 in there, maybe a little up and down. It was just a little all over the place. It was like fireworks going off when I just wanted to like sit by a campfire and enjoy, you know? And instead it was like boom, 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 craziness. So let's talk a little about the good things. So I actually have this note. I just found it as I was looking in my book. And it says inanimate objects are compared to animals instead of personified, which I thought that was really interesting because I did notice that instead of like, there's one thing I remembered where it describes someone's hair as like a snake, things like that, where instead of most authors personifying it or like doing something inanimate, still like a wind, like a leaf blowing on the tree, it was like, no, it was like a snake curling around. And so I thought that was cool. I love that kind of description, and I think it keeps it in that outdoorsy type of theme. You don't really ever get snapped out of that, which I like. But one thing she also writes a lot about is the chestnut trees, and I know that let me check when this book was made. So this book was written or published in 2000. Obviously, the chestnut tree blight is a huge deal in American history. All the chestnuts were destroyed, wreaking ecological havoc on us. Like, we survived, obviously, but they were a huge part of our ecosystem. So something I've talked a lot about in college, because I'm an environmental science major, is the chestnut trees. And I know, like, I'm kind of friends with the American Chestnut Tree Foundation New York chapter director, and I was talking to him about this book, and I was like, hey, I never realized, like, you talk about how important the chestnut trees are and stuff, but I never realized just how they play into like an everyday type of background of your life. The same way, like, I like to go sit under this oak tree. The same way that those people collected acorns. It's like chestnut trees are just a part of your life and a part of your landscape. And I didn't realize that, kind of been talking about it in a sciencey, like, super genetic way, where we're like, how do we change the genetic makeup of these trees to make them different, to make them survive, to make them come back to how they used to be. And he was like, yeah, that's so cool. Like, what books are you reading? So there was like multiple that had reference to chestnut trees just because they were old stories. But this one in particular, it was kind of like, I feel like if you read this book in 2000, she would be like on the new science. But in 2025, in 2022, when I'm in college, we're talking about this, her science is very behind. So now this is old science to me, where maybe most people think that it's still normal, but just knowing the people I know, having the conversations I've had, this is not how it works. So that kind of threw me off too, where I was like, Barbara's trying to push this like new science and be like, let's get out there. This is a current issue. Let's be on top of it. And just reading that voice, kind of activist, and then having the science already be old, it just threw me off a little bit because I was like, oh, this is a bummer. Like, it's not how it works in the story. We've changed. We have different genetic, which obviously science changes rapidly, but like we're on to new genetic makeups, we're on to new names, we're on to like new science. And just reading that, I was kind of like, this is pointless. Like, I get the sentiment here, but it's not how it is today. So as like a really sciencey person, I didn't enjoy that. And then secondly, on the activist note, sometimes you just totally lose the character and you just hear her like rah, 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 like her activism, her own opinions come through, and the characters just completely disappear, where they lose any type of their voice, any type of their characteristics that are integrated in their dialogue. It just is lost, and it's just Barbara like standing on her soapbox saying what she needs to say. So that also I did not enjoy, which is a common review. This is a common sentiment about people who read this book. So that's why I mentioned like Demon Copperhead, she never comes out of that. Like, this book is so believable. You never kind of get snapped out of the story. And Prodigal, I just feel like I kept getting snapped out. So I really thought I was going to love it because in the beginning, I jumped into that love story, that Eddie Bondo, Dina thing so fast. And then every time the voice changed, I just hated that part of the story. And I just wanted to get back to that original place where we started. So I'm sick of having these like multiple POV stories. Like, I just want to read a book and just continue the people, continue the characters, that plot throughout the thing. I'm kind of over like switching POVs, switching characters, switching places and times. I don't like that anymore. So Barbara's just done better. That's really my sentiment here, is that it just feels like she's written this character so that she could say what she wants to say. And then she's like, keeps losing that disguise. Like, she's like, yeah. She's like, she comes out and you're like, what was that? Who was that? And then it's just Barbara. Just Barbara in sheep's clothing, standing on her soapbox. When in reality, you really wanted this like dynamic character that was developed throughout this entire story. And then you just lose that and it's like Barbara's popping out at you. So, didn't like that. And it just drags. It's slow. If you don't love the other two character stories, then you're not going to be interested in the story, because only 1/3 of the book you're going to enjoy. If you like 2 of them, that other one's going to be really painful to get through. I just didn't love it. I was really disappointed. So Barbara, you've done better. I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just saying. That's it. And then it really put me in a slump. I was like, this book took me literal months to get through, where I have been so on a book a week. Like, I have been cruising more than a book a week this entire year. And this one literally took me months and months and months and months to get through, even after starting it originally like last year. Anyway, happy it's over. I might get rid of it, to be honest. I don't know. I started to annotate a little bit and underline. There's literal two in here. So who knows what those are. Definitely like beautiful writing, beautiful descriptions. It's not like a bad book by any means. It just has some major flaws that put me into a massive reading slump, and I will never forgive this book for that. Probably the biggest disappointment book so far, because I had high expectations, which I never do. So I've definitely read far worse books this year, but they didn't disappoint me. I went in like, oh, this book is not going to be good. And then it wasn't good. This book I was hoping was going to be my favorite, and it turned out trash. So anyway, I guess that's all I have to say. I don't want to bash anyone. Like, it's a feat to write a book, and I respect it. So yeah, stick around if you want more videos. Maybe I'll just do some more regular reviews because I just kind of do like my monthly reads. Commonwealth and Hillbilly Elegy. I'm pretty sure those are the 3 I read in May. This, Commonwealth, Hillbilly Elegy. Hillbilly Elegy is phenomenal. One of the best books I've read. I love a traumatic memoir. Commonwealth was really disappointing as well. Maybe I should talk about that in here, but I'm not even going to. So this is just, we'll take this as my May reading recap. Hillbilly Elegy, phenomenal. Commonwealth, mid. Prodigal Summer, mid, but a little bit less than Commonwealth. Commonwealth, again, what's the deal with these timelines? Like, all these characters, just give me one story. I get that it's cool that you can write such a interesting, interconnected type of plot. I'm over it. Just drop some characters, chapter 1, let's walk the road with them till we get to the end of the book, okay? I'm done. I'm sorry. That's it. I hope you guys liked this video. Subscribe, like, comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree. Nobody ever comments. Nobody ever watches these videos. I do it for myself. Do you like my fun, funky flannel? It looks like laser beams. I'm going to go swimming, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.